Here's what we want you to hear. Everything that you feel, don't leave, because we're going to give you the most important thing right now. It'll be really short. Here's the most important thing that we really want you to get this. So you're in a constant state of becoming. And you can't stop being in a constant state of becoming. And your inner being has lived with you as you've been in a constant state of becoming and has always been looking forward with you. The state of becoming is what being alive is. And the state of having become is not what being alive is. It's what being alive was, but the state of becoming is what being alive is. Your inner being has a point of view about everything, because your inner being has been right up to speed with you the whole time. And you've been acknowledging by what you're living, what you prefer next, and your inner being focuses there. And so the state of becoming is what life is. The state of having become is what life was. If you can understand what present tense means, that will automatically cause you to be connected to the larger part of you that is the true isness of who you are. You are an extension of source energy, but the source energy is who you are. And that dominant part of who you are will always be the dominant part of who you are. But who you are in your physical form, you allow yourself to separate yourself from who you are, and then you don't understand who you are, and then you start thinking that who your inner being is different than who you are. There's a sort of implied separation that humans accomplish that never feels good to you when you find it. And so right from the beginning of our conversations with you, we've been talking to you about letting your brain, letting your mind be a mechanism by which you focus and accomplish a blending of perspectives, so that who you are in your physical form and who you are as non-physical energy is one and the same. And in the moments that you are accomplishing that, you are at your most joyful. And in the moments that you are not accomplishing that, you are feeling diminished in some way. Most people make most of their comparisons about life and their statements about what life is from a place of not being consciously aware of that blending. Even as we talk to you about your inner being, it feels to you like your inner being is something separate from you. Your inner being is not separate from you. And it's only when you attempt to make your inner being someone who is separate from you that you then feel less alive or less enlivened or less in control or less powerful. Our big question to you, because you are a gathering of humans who have been listening to us for a while, and we can feel as this conversation has been moving along that you're up to speed, and so you are the perfect ones for us to ask these questions to. So we're going to ask some questions of you, because we know that in your answering of these questions, you're going to discover your place in this universe. You're going to discover your place in your life experience. You're going to come back into full realization of the revelation of who you are. We know that as you ponder these questions and then let the answers just flow through your mind, you're going to come back into the wholeness of who you are in a way that you probably have not ever done before. So just relax. We'll be very brief about this for a lot of reasons. Your bladder only being one of them. Our first question to you is, are you comfortable with the eternal incompletion of yourself?
Yes.
Really, are you? Because you don't act that way. You behave like you want to reach a place where a spotlight can be put upon you and you can be pronounced finished or final or good. So, are you comfortable with the eternal incompletion of yourself? That's such a big question, because if you're comfortable with the answer, yes, I get that I'm eternal, then this next question will be easy for you. Are you comfortable with the contrast that surrounds you that is essential to your eternal becoming.
More and more and more.
So
and
if you
more.
are comfortable with the eternal incompletion of yourself, and you're comfortable with the contrast. Now, we're going to go back to the first question. Are you comfortable with the eternal incompletion of yourself? Most humans can't even get close to yes on that answer. They're striving so hard to become something that someone outside of them can then look at them and pronounce them enough. Finally, you got it right. You joined the right religion, you married the right person, you said the right things, you were forgiven, and finally you're enough, so now you can stop. Are you comfortable with the eternal incompletion of who you are? You got to be, you've got to be. And so that means, are you comfortable when you are in a state of allowing and you're letting things that you've previously asked for manifest into real life experience? Are you comfortable with getting what you've been saying you want? Are you?
Yes.
Are you comfortable with not yet being ready to let in what you say you want? Is it all right with you if there are still things in the state of becoming? You got to be all right with that, because you told us just a little bit ago that you're comfortable with the eternal incompletion. And if you are comfortable, if you really mean it, that you're comfortable with the eternal nature of your being, are you comfortable knowing that you will always be, and that there will always be more, and that the potential for ongoing, never-ending, joyous, living happily ever after is what you are about? Are you comfortable with living happily ever after? Then you got to be aware and at one with the ever after. Ever after doesn't mean for a little while. Ever after means forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Are you at one with being forever and ever and ever and ever and ever? Then the contrast that you think you don't want is the best friend that you've ever had. Now, we want you to be comfortable with the eternal incompletion of your being, because you are going to be eternally incomplete. And once you decide that you are comfortable with the eternal incompletion of who you are, then it is our knowing that you will then, and only then, be comfortable with the contrast that is going to keep coming up. Because you can't have one without the other. You can't continue to be if you're not willing to experience the contrast that causes you to continue to ask. So here's our next question. Do you believe that what you ask for, no matter what it is all right? Do you trust the process of your life?
Yes.
Do you trust that what you think you want is what you want, and that it's all right for you to want it? In other words, are you going to let yourself in your eternal unfolding discover? Or have you assigned someone else to the creation of you? Because if you've assigned somebody else to the creation of you, you're not that happy because nobody's on that. Nobody's creating the creation of you. And if you're expecting somebody else to be creating the creation of you, then you're feeling neglected. You're feeling unloved. You're feeling lost. You're getting the hang of what we're talking about here, aren't you? So the eternal nature of who you are means you're an eternal being, which means the contrast that is necessary for that eternal nature is not just necessary, it too is a good thing. So the only thing that might be a little wonky right now in your experience is that you might still be pushing against the idea of contrast, and therefore pushing against the pieces of contrast, and therefore depriving yourself of the joy of this moment of the contrast, which is necessary for the eternal incompletion of who you are. Now, we know that was a lot for you to think about, and we pushed you into it. We made you stay and hear it. But the reason that we want you to is because You are vibrational beings, and when you line up with the eternal nature of who you are, then the moments that you are living become precious to you as you acknowledge the perfection of this eternal unfolding that we are all about. There isn't anything other than the powerful now. Even though there's an eternal thing that we are coming to, it's all happening right now. And how you feel now about everything that's coming is everything. What's coming is not ever going to get here. It's always going to be now. So as you stand now, you get to decide how you want to feel. When we get together tomorrow, don't think about this tonight. Don't think about this tonight. Don't talk to each other about it. Don't think about it. Just, what did your coach say to you? Take a beat. Take a beat. Take a beat. There is so much love here for you. And for now, we are complete.